emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Welcome back to Double Back for Ammo. This is Dan and I'm back with another Elden Ring build for people who are just starting Elden Ring. If you're looking for a build that instantly makes the game easier, try checking out my video, Get OP in less than 30 minutes. The build I'm going to show you today does not make the game instantly easy. In fact, this weapon adds a whole new level of challenge, and if that is what you're looking for, this video is for you. The Twinblade is a two-handed weapon available early in the game. When modified with a bleed, Ash of War, this fast-slashing weapon procs bleed repeatedly in a short amount of time, killing enemies and bosses faster. However, unlike a greatsword or heavier weapon, it barely blocks damage at all, forcing you to rely mainly on dodge rolls or backsteps to avoid death. When fighting bosses, you'll want to roll into their attacks so that when you stand up, you can quickly attack once or twice before their next move, like this. Strong or charged attacks are difficult to fire off with a twin blade due to the reset in stance slowing you down. But if you can get behind a foe and fully charge an R2, you're going to do massive damage and probably proc bleed. Now I'll show you how to make this build and quickly get your twin blade up to +4. Start a new game and choose the Confessor class. Yes, the Samurai class has higher dexterity than the Confessor starts off with, but we are starting off with the Confessor by design. In this video, we are actually going to start off with a Faith build, use it to defeat kind of a difficult enemy, minor boss type, and then we are going to switch over to a Bleed build. For the keepsake, go ahead and select the golden seed. That way you can give yourself an extra flask after starting the game. I have actually developed some skill with the character creative, if I don't mind saying so myself. I mean, this literally looks a lot like me, except for, I don't know, the eyes are not completely accurate, and that hairline is definitely not accurate. I don't think they have a hairstyle available that kind of looks like mine. I also don't have a big scar through my left eye, but yeah, this looks a lot like me. So I'm going to start the timer and then skip the scene. Okay, I believe we have to collect this item over here in order to open this door, otherwise it'll be locked. All right, we're going to run through the precipice of anticipation very quickly. Once you get through this doorway, go past 1, 2, 3 graves on your left, and then the Scion should come out, so just run off the cliff. Okay, we've got our flasks. I'm going to quickly map them to my pouch buttons, just so that they're easier to use. Head into the next room and activate the Site of Grace and rest at it for a moment. And in our flasks menu, we can use our golden seed to give ourselves an additional flask. 4 to 1 is a good allocation for now. And now we can take the elevator and head outside. All right, go over here by the White Masked Surgeon and activate the Site of Grace. This is called the first step. We'll be back here later. You can take the small golden effigy if you want. That's up to you. We want to avoid that guy on the horseback that's directly ahead, so let's curve over here to the left. All right, and once we reach the church, let's just kind of head around to the right, and in front of the building by this crucifix, we can find a golden rune too. Then go in the church and activate the Site of Grace. And go examine the smithing table to get your first smithing stone 1. In this path that I am tracing right now, we are going to collect 12 smithing stone 1s, which will enable us to upgrade our Twinblade to level +3 right from the start. So now I'm just heading straight north out of the church and through the woods. There are a couple soldiers in this next area. They might aggro when they see us running through. Just go ahead and keep going, no matter what sounds they make. They won't chase us all the way to the next area. All right, so still heading north. We are going to skirt right past that area, which is the Gatefront Ruins, and we're headed straight over to that Site of Grace, which is called the Gatefront Site of Grace. We're going to activate it and rest at it. Melina appears. I'm going to skip through her dialogue rather quickly.
You need own to the foot of... Then it summoned me. Ah, I bequeathed you. It will summon torrent. Treat him with...
All right, get out of the menu. Leave it nighttime, and I'm also going to add the Spectral Steed whistle to my pouch, just so I can get on and off torrent pretty quickly. All right, now we're going to ride southeast through the Gatefront Ruins. We're going to move across the side so that that guard doesn't aggro on us, and then we're going to go over here and pick up the map. And then we can go over to this wall and pop off torrent and fly right over the wall and descend into the crypt. Now, usually the soldiers do not follow us down here. I'm just going to angle the camera behind me just to make sure that they don't. And we're going to pick up the Ash of War, Storm Stomp, and the Whetstone Knife. Now down here, let's mount up on torrent and ride out of the cellar. And we're going to try to get past these guys, and we're going to head straight east to the next Site of Grace and activate it. All right, hopefully, once I've activated this Site of Grace, we'll be able to open the map. If not, then just rest at the Site of Grace and you'll lose everyone's attention. We're going to fast travel back to the Church of Ella.
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word?
All right, we need to talk to her several times. I'm going to skip through it.
The talk thou art to call forth. Ah, I was entrusted by torrents. 'Tis a bell for call, summon them with it. The spirits now it is the...
Okay, you need to talk to her again.
How long?
Otherwise, she'll just start talking to you as you try to walk away. All right, now you're all good. I'm going to go and rest again, and I am going to just pass time until morning because that makes everything safer. All right, now we're going to fast travel back to the Gatefront Site of Grace and mount up on torrent, and we're going to ride through the Gatefront. There's a troll overhead that is going to hop down. That guy on the right is going to fire. Those guys are going to try to block my way, and then I'm going to go over here and get the golden rune. I'm messing this up a little bit. And then we're going to smash through the barricades and head uphill to the west. At the top of the hill, we'll find a small tree and a golden seed. Once you grab that, curve around and head northeast until you find this group of corpses. On one, you will find smithing stone 1 times 3. So we're already up to 4 smithing stones. Keep going northeast and you'll run into this graveyard full of free runes. There are some enemies scattered among these runes that will explode. You need to grab that one from the side and this one. You can grab it and get away before that one explodes, and then you can continue grabbing all the runes here. There's one over here, and there's also an enemy there that will explode. And then there's another enemy here that will explode. All right, and then you can grab these runes. Oh, and there's the ram. The ram will come after you. The ram is one of the deadliest enemies in the game. Okay, let me just make sure we got all the runes. All right, now we're going to head slightly southwest over here to this rune where the wolves are going to howl. We're going to go across this rune, and since the troll jumped down, we can now go out here very quickly and grab a golden rune 2 from off top of the ruins, and I'm going to double jump back up, and then we're going to hop across the runes as safely as possible, stay away from the wolves, and now head east by northeast across this pond. There is a troll directly ahead. We're going to give that troll a tap with our sword, just to let him aggro on us. And then we are going to go run over here and hide behind this statue. When the troll comes over here, he's going to smash the statue, and we are going to grab the items inside. There we go. Quickly grab them, and run south, and jump off the cliff, down to the ruins, and drop to the ground. And the troll is just going to be mad about it. Okay, follow this line of cliffs going east, past the Spirit Spring, and over here we will find another corpse holding another smithing stone 1. After we grab it, another troll up there will get mad, but we just want to keep heading over this way to this big stack of tombstones, and then go over the cliff next to it, to where all these wolves are. Go directly in front of the wolves, grab this golden rune 2, and run away. There is a site of grace directly ahead, and if you want to use it, you can. Instead, I'm going to turn south from here, and I'm going to follow the ridge line of the Murkwater River coast, all the way south. Okay, we're coming up on the Murkwater Bridge. I want to try to grab a smithing stone from here without aggroing that rider, so I'm going to jump onto the bridge directly behind him. Go over here and get this, and get out of there before he attacks me. And now we're going to want to head straight east over to this little mountain over here behind it. All right, when you get to this ledge here, we're going to go up and curve back to the southwest, head toward these guys standing at the cliff's ledge. We're going to grab a gold pickled foul foot here, and then we're going to curve back to the east and go around the waypoint ruins here. And now, after getting around the ruins, whoops, there's an extra skull there. Always grab those when you have the opportunity. Now I'm going to head over to this graveyard. There are some wolves to the right. Just stick to the left a little bit more to avoid them. Quickly go through and grab all of the free runes that are in the graveyard here. Hopefully you can do it quickly before the wolves get interested in you. Just run over here a little bit, and if you can open your menu, then great. And we are going to fast travel back to the first step. Okay, mount up on Torrent, and we are going to turn east and ride directly east over to the cliff. And then if we stop here and look down for a minute, where Torrent's head is facing is an item glowing on the ground. That is the last of these smithing stone 1s that we need to upgrade the Twinblade. Oh, there was another skull. Never pass up free money. Grab the mushroom and grab the smithing stone 1. You can do a quick check in your inventory. And we now have 12 smithing stone 1s. We just need our Twinblade, and for that we head directly to the east from here and over to the Dragon Burnt Ruins. This structure on the south edge of the location has a little wall you can double jump over, and then you can pop off Torrent and head down the stairs into the cellar and open the door. Okay, and now we have the Twinblade, so let's open up our map again and fast travel back to Kale, and let's go over to Kale and let's actually speak to him this time.
But I can also...
I'm going to fast forward through his dialogue and get to his menu. First go to sell, and you can easily and quickly sell all the runes you've collected so far to Kale in order to get enough money to upgrade your Twinblade. Go over to the smithing table and go to the next screen, melee armaments, find your Twinblade, and make your Twinblade +3. Okay, we cannot use our Twinblade, so after this, we now want to fast travel back to the Aguil Lake North site of Grace. Okay, now on the second run, we are going to ride on Torrent southeast along the road. For this run, we are going to go around and collect enough runes to level ourselves up.
You there.
Ignore that guy. We're going to level up our dexterity stats so that we can use our Twinblade. All right, we're going across the bridge once again, and this time we're going to curve north. We want to follow this road, but the road is full of enemies, as you can see, so let's just move off the road to the right and go down below this ridge line so that they can't see us and attack us. And once we get to this point, we can rejoin the road. It should be safe. And then we could just follow the road down to here where we should find another site of grace. We can quickly hop off and activate the site of grace. Now, we're going to hop back on and we're going to head to that large ruin over there behind my head that is covering the gap. And there's a guy standing on it who's going to start talking rather loudly. And it's going to be difficult to compete with him for a second.
Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Height.
Not today, Kenneth.
To the true order.
Hopefully you can see I just kind of made my way across the ruin while he was talking, and then we want to head northeast and over to this graveyard. And again, we're going to collect a bunch of free runes. Okay, that corpse on top of that grave is holding the sleep pot recipe, the cookbook for the sleep pot, so then that's important. You'll want to go back and get that, or you'll want to spend the extra time getting it. I don't need it for the purposes of this video, so I'm going to keep moving. All right, once we go back across the ruins, I'm going to grab a free rune, and then I am going to head almost east, northeast really, to the Third Church of America. And here in the church, we are going to go to this bowl at the back and grab the Crimson Crystal Tear and the Flask of Wondrous Physic, the Sacred Tear, and we're only going to stop here for a minute just to activate the Site of Grace, and then we are going to hop back on Torrent, and we are going to go north, and we can double jump out this window and go across the muddy river, up the embankment, and over toward this spirit spring. But first we will find a silver beetle. Make sure to kill it. That way you get the Ash of War Sacred Blade, and then you can jump into the spirit spring. All these wolves are here. We're going to go around them by sticking to the wall to the right, jump to the upper level, and approach the spirit spring from the east so that we can jump over to the west ledge. And we're going to head west for a little bit. Before we reach that red scarab, we're going to curve down here and descend carefully to find another graveyard full of runes. All right, I believe that I have them all, and then we just need to fast travel right back to the Third Church of America, and we could set up that initial faith build that I was talking about. All right, so first off, you are going to want to go into your inventory, and without a merchant here, you are going to have to consume all your runes, which I just did incorrectly. You want to consume them all when you have the opportunity, and then wait for your menu to allow you to consume more, and just keep consuming every rune that you've collected so far. All right, I believe that we have collected them all. I'm just going to make sure. Yes, we have. And then we can rest at the Site of Grace. And the first thing on the menu, of course, is to level up. Now, we want to take Faith to 15, because that will give our first build, our Faith build, a little bit of a boost. And also, it will allow us to use a very valuable skill that I'll point out later. And then we want to take our Dexterity up to 18. We are now able to wield the Twinblade with our strength and dexterity stats. And if we've got any additional levels, we can put them into vigor. All right, next on the menu, we need to add a charge to our flask. And we can also use a Sacred Tear to increase how much we get back. And then we need to go to the Ashes of War menu, go to the Twinblade, equip the Sacred Blade Ash of War on it with the Sacred Affinity. All right, now getting up from here, we can unequip our Sword and Shield, equip our Twinblade, and two-hand it so that we get a better damage output from it. All right, now get back on Torrent and head to the Mistwood Ruins to the south. Kill this boar. As you reach this glowing candlestick, you'll see a bear ahead. If you stick to the right of the candlestick and go up the ground here, you'll have a better chance of avoiding an attack from the bear. And then you can curve over here and grab the map for the area. Quickly curve back and grab a cookbook from below that rune bear. And they keep scratching. They won't notice you. Don't worry. Hop up the embankments this way, heading southeast to find the spike crack tier and the green spill crystal tier. And if you want to try out your +3 Twinblade, you can see its damage output on the silver beetle there, but we're not going to use that actual Ash of War in our build. So that's optional. Grab the gold rune from the 2 bats and then head this way. And you're going to head toward the sound of the howling. And here in the back of the Mistwood Ruins, we're going to grab a golden rune too. And we're going to hop off the horse in this area, go inside the tower ruins here, and grab a smithing stone too from the torch. Now get into a crouch position so that you are sneaking, and go around the back here and drop into the stairwell and go down the stairs to avoid waking up the sleeping rune bear. Open up the door, and inside the chest you will find the axe talisman. You can quickly open your menu and equip it. That will bolster your charge attacks. Okay, now let's hop back on Torrent. We're going to ride out of here. We're going to do a quick jag over here to the right and then out to the road and continue following the road southeast. Here we go. Yeah, nice and powerful. Okay, when you hit this fence, split off to the right, and we want to ride southwest. Pretty soon you're going to see a graveyard pop into view ahead, and you'll notice that there is a wolf out front. We need to kill that wolf because they will be attacking us the entire time if we don't. Okay, and then quickly recover your camera and go over and start collecting gold runes from these graves over here. The white wolf will get a little mad at you, but if you just keep going around the graves, then they won't be able to quite vector on how to attack you, and you should be able to grab all the runes before they truly aggro. Now you want to just leave the graveyard and run back to the northeast. Oh, free rune. Okay, just before you reach the road, you want to veer off to the right, and you will find a site of grace over here for Fort Height. Okay, again, you want to go into your inventory and use all of the runes that you've collected so far. All right, now let's see if we can rest up here. We've got some additional work to do on our build. We want to level up, put every point you can into your vigor, but remember to also mix your wondrous physic. Okay, and then the only other thing to do, if you want, you can equip the Lone Wolf Ashes, and then you can use the Lone Wolf Ashes inside the fort. We're now going to mount up and head over to assault Fort Height. All right, we're going to want to stick to the right because there's a guy on a crossbow, or ballista, I think it's called, up top. And we want to go over to this tree and grab a golden seed. Now, what we want is for that mad pumpkin head at the top of the stairs to get off the stairs. And until then, we just want to kind of ride around the general area and avoid letting these guys catch up to us. If they get too close, you can kind of swat them with your Twinblade. But now that he is off the stairs, we are golden. Okay, there are going to be enemies all over the place and people throwing fire pots at us. So you want to move quickly. You need to run up to the top here and over to this guy and hit him. And hit that guy and use your flask. Okay, and now we're going to get up here. And that was pretty easy, right? All right, so that made it pretty easy. Now there are other items to grab here in the forts, but I am not going to grab them. Instead, you can grab those items on your time. We are going to fast travel back to the third church. Okay, rest at the Grace here. I don't think we'll be able to level up still, but what we want to do is go back to the Ashes of War menu, and we want to change the Twinblade from a Sacred Twinblade to a Bloody Twinblade using the Blood Affinity. And now we can see that this Twinblade is going to cause blood loss. All right, so dual-handed again, get back on Torrent. We're going to double jump out the window to the north, and this time we're going to go to the right, and back here we should find a hidden portal that will take us to the Bestial Sanctum in Caelid. All right, mount up on Torrent here, and there's a big enemy behind us, so head over here to the right, jump off, double jump over this root, and directly ahead you will see a small golden tree. There's also an enemy, but try to avoid it. All the enemies, even the little tiny ones like that, are very strong and will give you quite a bit of grief. Quick example, did barely any damage to that guy. Keep heading toward this site of grace over here by the farm Great Bridge. Hop off and activate it, but we are not going to rest at it. Do not rest at that site of grace. Hop back on Torrent and let's go across the bridge, and as you probably saw, we're going to have to go right under this dragon. And you're too weak to kill this dragon. Just to prove it, I'm going to give him a little tap. 47 points of damage. Yeah, barely any damage. Not ready to take on the dragon. Just keep heading this direction. Go over here and find the rot and double jump to get on top of it, and head over here. And we're going to find a small graveyard again with more runes that we can loot. All right, now that we have all of those, let us turn around and head down the hill. There's going to be a field of lightning here, so stick to your right to stay away from it. Directly ahead is a putrid avatar, so once you get to about here, you're going to want to curve off to the right and go around the minor Erd tree. At the back of the Erd tree, you'll find a spirit spring. Use it to hop up to the ledge above and continue going southwest. All right, head over here to Fort Faroth and stop at the site of grace here. Activate it. And then hop back on Torrent and ride over to the giant Elder Dragon Grail, who is slumbering here. We're going to run over to this leg and hop off Torrent and start attacking the leg. Every once in a while, we're going to proc bleed buildup, and we're going to take down major points, just like we did there. About 13,000 hit points. Oh, something I forgot to tell you is that we need to equip the gold Foul-to-Foot and have it ready to go. So we can do that while we're waiting for our stamina to recover, and then we can go at that leg again. All right, seems like we've already proc bleed twice, so I'm just going to keep attacking this with the bleed weapon, with the bloody Twinblade. And I think you're going to be impressed when you do this yourself, just how quickly it takes down Grail's health bar, proccing bleed multiple times like we just did. Each time you proc bleed, it's going to take longer to proc the next bleed effect, but just keep at it. I think we need to proc it one more time, and then we can take our gold Pickle Foul-foot and finish off Grail. Okay, now we're going to finish him off pretty soon. I'm going to do one more set of damage because I don't believe that bleed is going to proc too quickly. Okay, and then we're going to take the gold Pickle Foul-foot while we recover stamina and go at him again. And after probably about 2 or 3 more rounds, we should kill the dragon. There it is. Okay. So now at this point, I'm going to mount up on Torrent, and we're going to receive about 65,000 runes, and then we're going to receive another 30,000 runes on top of that because we had the gold Pickle Foul-foot in effect, and we also killed all the dragons in the area. So head back over to the site of grace and rest at it. Melina is going to appear, and she's going to offer to take us to the Round Table Hold.
To determine if you had, it seems my worry Torrent, whereas I merely pretend there is, but I can take gathering.
All right, go with her to the Round Table Hold.
And rest upon.
All right, so here in the Round Table Hold, don't bother talking to anybody. Go straight into the next room, and you want to introduce yourself to the blacksmith Hugh.
You're a new nomad.
I'm going to skip through it quickly and get to the strengthen armament screen. If you do need any additional runes, actually what you can do first is sell your runes to him, just like we have before. All right, now you're ready to strengthen your armament to +4. So now we have a +4 Twinblade, and we can run back into the next room, and we can use the round table side of grace to level ourselves up. You want to, oh, and we even can add another golden seed, add another flask, and then you want to level up. You want to go down to arcane, which will bolster your bleed ability and level it up as much as you can. With what you gained, you should be able to get up to level 26 or 27, and there you go. Now you are OP with your Twinblade build. The goal is to hit 60 arcane and then start raising your dex stat to 25, but you also want to raise vigor to 60 as quickly as possible. This build needs a lot of vigor to increase survival chances and reduce your number of deaths. One of the best early talismans for the Bloody Twinblade is the Twinblade talisman found in a chest on a tower in Castle Morn. This increases damage on the final hit in an attack chain by 45%. However, you'll frequently find it hard to get to the final hit of a Twinblade chain before you get hit or need to quit and dodge. A better talisman is the Winged Sword insignia found by defeating the Cleanrot Knight boss in Stillwater Cave, located directly below the starting point of Liurnia. For buffs, find the knight on horseback northeast of the War Master's Shack and kill him to obtain the Ash of War Golden Vow. Apply this to a dagger and equip it in the second slot of your right hand so you can activate the buff and switch back to your Twinblade. Golden Vow costs 40 FP, increases all damage by 11%, and negates all damage by 7% for 45 seconds. Another great buff is the Flame Grant Me Strength incantation, which costs 28 FP and increases physical and fire damage by 20% for 30 seconds. It stacks with Golden Vow, and it's found behind Fort Gale on the western edge of Caelid, and it's not too hard to get by riding on Torrent. Here is the same character at level 150, and I'm dual wielding my Bloody Twinblade with Eleonora's Pole Blade. I switched out Bloody Slash on the Twinblade for Seppuku with the Occult Affinity, which scales better with 60 Arcane. I'm wearing the white mask you can get from invaders in Mogun Dynasty to increase damage, and other pieces of armor totaling 56 poise. My talismans are currently set to the Claw Talisman, Winged Sword Insignia, Millicent's Prosthesis, and Lord of Blood's Exaltation. This build absolutely deletes bosses and tough enemies, so steal it and give it a try. Hope this Twinblade challenge helps you enjoy Elden Ring all over again. FromSoft just announced that the Tarnished Edition will be released soon on all platforms, so I think some more players will return to the game again soon. Thanks for watching.